Hello fellow citizens, and welcome back to the channel. With the inevitable flood of new players bound to be joining the verse in the next month or so, with IE quickly coming, I just wanted to put together a quick video to help you get the most for your money in the pledge store. Help address some of the things that I really struggled to learn in my first year. Now, before I jump into the tips, however, there are two very important things you need to know about the pledge store. First up, war bond pricing versus normal pricing. War bond pricing is simply the price that it would cost you to purchase the item with new money to the game. That is, you're paying with real life money as opposed to using the credits that you've accumulated through melting ships or some other means. If you look at the pledge store right now, specifically at the CSV, you'll see that there are multiple versions available. Now just ignore the one on the left for a second, as it's only available to concierge members, but we're looking really at the one in the center and the one on the right. The one in the center is priced at $5 USD less than the one to the right. Now, one would assume that the one in the center is missing something, but in fact, digging into the details, the one in the center is actually the better deal because it's $5 less and it comes with lifetime insurance. The second really important thing to know is exactly how a ship's value is determined. Now, to determine the value of a ship, what I do is I head over to the pledge store, specifically under the ship upgrades. I then select the ship that I actually want, and you can see in the bottom right hand corner of the tile that comes up, it has a little value for the ship. It's really important to note this value because this is the value that you'll actually get if you actually melt the ship or you try to apply upgrades for it. This brings us to the first tip, that is the simple upgrade path. So with this path, you would purchase a starter package, something that's on sale, preferably something like the Avenger Titan that's currently on sale for $56. So right there, we're already ahead $4. Okay. Now, if we take that Avenger Titan and we turn around and we upgrade it to something like, say, the Starlancer Max, a ship that's due to be released in a week or two here, you'll notice there's actually two different options that you can apply. So if we apply the War Bond option, that applies a cost of $165. So what that means is when you add the $56 for the starter pack, plus the $156 for the Starlancer Max upgrade, you're actually only paying a total of $221, which is $29 below the ship's value of $250. You're already ahead roughly 12%. Now, this coincidentally is actually how I started playing the game. I used it for my Taurus. I purchased the Sullian starter pack, lifetime insurance, and immediately upgraded the ship portion of the Constellation Taurus. In the example that I gave earlier with the Titan and the Starlancer Max, the Titan starter pack actually has a full set of armor and lifetime insurance in it, both of which get applied to the upgraded ship. Now the next tip, tip number 2, along the same lines as tip number 1, but what it does is it compounds those upgrades that I showed you earlier. So what you do is you essentially wait for those upgrades to come on sale. And you'll go from ship A to ship B to ship C to ship D, and as you go through the stages, you capture a discount for each one. Now, it's a little bit more time consuming. It can actually take months and months and months to accomplish this, but you do stand to gain a lot more money than any of the other methods. There's a lot of detailed videos on how to do this by other YouTube creators. I strongly suggest you go take a look at those. One thing that's really nice about this approach is you can actually do it in bulk. So you can capture multiple of those B to C ship upgrades and apply them multiple times if you're looking to actually invest in multiple ships. Now, in my previous example, we saved about 12%. I've seen some creators actually save 25 to 30% on their ships by doing this approach, but it does take a long time. Just pause quickly here for a quick bonus tip. If you subscribe to my channel right now, you'll continue to get updates like this with further tips and tricks in the future. Back to tip number 3. Tip number 3 actually involves something called a subscription with Star Citizen. What this is it's a monthly plan. You can pay once a year as well if you like, but it's a monthly plan and they give you a bunch of benefits more than just a ship discount. But as part of a subscription, you also get a coupon. As you can see here, there's actually 2 different levels of subscription with Star Citizen. With the first level, you get a coupon of 10%. The second level, you get a coupon of 20%. Now, there's a couple of caveats here. You have to be subscribed for a certain period of time. The first level requires a 12-month and the second a 6 before you actually receive your coupon. But if you pay for an annual membership, you actually get the discount coupon right away. Now with this approach, I'd really suggest that you only use it for major upgrades worth about $500 or more. And you could possibly even combine it with one of the other methods, capitalize on an even larger discount. It is a bit of a strange tip though, because you have to pay to be a subscriber to actually get the benefit. But if you're considering being a subscriber anyway, it's definitely worthwhile. I know on about a $500 purchase, I would save about $100 on a ship. That's a substantial amount. Now, generally, I've got some hard feelings about being a subscriber. I am one. And every month I seem to be disappointed in the subscriber fare, except for the 1 month that they gave away the pirate seats and table set. I find the things that they give out monthly, they don't have a lot of value, and they're generally not things that I would actually have bought lately. There are a couple of things, however, from the special subscriber store that I have bought, like special weapons or hanger flare. And it turned out that hanger flare that I bought from the early days actually doesn't work in the new hangers. Now, the one nice thing I really do like about being a subscriber is that you actually get to try out the new ships when they're released for a week or so without spending real money on it, which can make a big difference. The next tip number 4, is consider using the gray market. On the gray market, you can get some pretty good deals. Now, I personally bought my reclaimer in the gray market because it wasn't available to purchase from the pledge store at the time, and I actually saved about $100 doing it. And I got lifetime insurance and the name reservation, which was really nice. Now, although the gray markets claim to be 100% safe, there is a bit of risk of doing business outside of the official CIG pipeline, so buyer beware. That being said, you can stand to grab a decent discount on the gray market. Now, I'm not going to list the actual sites here, but if you just Google Star Citizen ships, you'll very easily find what I'm talking about. But, one tip, the ships can only be transferred once. So if you buy something on the gray market and it's transferred to you, you can't transfer it to someone else in the future. Now, tip number 5, use my referral code when you sign up, and I'll put it on the screen up above, especially if it's during a referral event. So anytime that you use a referral code, whether it's mine or your buddies or whomever's, every time that you use a referral code, you actually get additional in-game credits that you can use in the future. Now, during special events like the one upcoming at IAE, you can actually typically receive a few additional perks, such as free armor or free ships. Depending on the details of what the referral event actually has, this can have a value of up to about $100 or so, but it really does vary depending on what the promotion that CIG offers are, and we don't know what it is yet for IAE. Now the next tip number 6, is by leveraging a ship pack. Now the one that you see ahead of you on the pledge store here it's called the Argo Cargo Pack, and it actually includes a raft and this new ship, the CSV, the little space truck, if you will. Combined, you're saving about $20 on the two of these, which really means that you're getting the CSV for half the price. Now, this is a great way to get a good deal on the ships, but you have to actually be interested in considering both ships for this to make sense, unless you're just a collector. In this case, for instance, on the random day that I recorded this video, we would actually save about 10% doing this, which is reasonably significant. Now, the 7th and final tip here is don't be afraid to melt your previous purchases and use that money towards purchasing a new ship. Star Citizen has a very strange model to me in the fact that you can actually melt any ship that you own at any time for its full value and apply that to the purchase of another ship. This means that you could technically buy a bunch of starter packs for under the ship's value, melt them, combine all the credits together, and purchase another ship or some CCU upgrades. Take, for instance, the Avenger Titan starter pack that we talked about earlier in the video. You save $4 for every $60 in value. That means that on a $600 ship, you're actually going to save about $40 doing this. You take this and combine it with some of the other methods we talked about today, there can be some significant savings in there for you. Beware doing this though, because if you do this, you can't get the war bond pricing that we talked about earlier in the video. You have to pay the regular pricing. So you really have to weigh the pros and cons on your specific situation to see if this actually makes sense. Finally, just a little bit of a bonus tip. Simply don't buy new ships with real money. All of the ships become available in a few months after they're launched into the game, and they can or will all be able to be bought with in-game credits. So as long as you have a good source of income in the game, you can actually earn these ships, and honestly, it's a much more fun way to play than just buying to the end of the game right away. Hopefully this helps save you some money and clear up some questions I constantly answer. And as always, Thank you for your continued support, and I'll see you in the verse.